Sarah Spain works for ESPNW, ESPN Radio, and I guess it was an assignment. I don't know. I'll have to ask her. But Sarah was on the Gronk cruise, and she joins us now. How did you end up on the cruise, by the way, Sarah?
I pitched it to my bosses. Apologies for my voice.
Oh, I love that voice. That's a cruise voice right there.
Yep, party voice. So trying to stay up with the Gronkowski's voice. Yeah, I pitched it to my bosses because a friend of mine, Will, is the photographer on all the rock boats, and my friend Dante is the DJ on Gronk's parties in his boats, and another friend of mine is one of Gronk's lawyers. So I just thought it seemed like all the signs were pointing to me being on this boat for work.
What were you expecting?
I wasn't really sure, to be honest, because, the six-man people run a lot of boats like this, like the Kid Rock cruise, or like EDM music festivals where it's all based around the bands performing. And this was a weird kind of mix of a bunch of music acts plus Rob and his family. And I'm like, what are they going to entertain us? Like, what are Rob and his family going to be doing? And it ended up just being a drunken meathead fest. And it was really fun. The expectations a lot of other people have had were like very chauvinistic, naked women, boobs everywhere, and I think I saw way more naked dudes. I mean, these guys are not interested in finding hot chicks and pulling them on stage. They would much rather just chest bump each other shirtless. I mean, they really are exactly what you'd imagine them to be.
So this was Brofest on the open seas.
Brofest on the open seas, except for what was really cool was Gronk, all of his brothers, Flo Rida, Red Foo, all those guys, they just partied with everyone the whole time. There wasn't really, during the day a lot when they were sleeping or late at night, like 6 a.m. on, They were in this area that's upstairs that's separate. But pretty much from, 1 p.m. through 5 a.m., they were just partying with everybody, like in the casino, on the beach, at the concerts, in the crowd. So it was not an access issue for any of the fans. Everybody from 60-year-old women to 10-year-old boys could be partying with them whenever they wanted to.
The most Gronk moment was when?
Oh, man. For me, the most Gronk moment was when he was doing, turned up burpees on stage with Flo Rida. But I think also there was a moment on the beach where Gronk was behind the DJ booth, kind of just talking to the crowd. Everyone's dancing, on this private island. And in the middle of the crowd, there's a couple that's just hardcore making out. So he starts making fun of them, and he's like, you guys can't do this on the dance floor. Everyone's trying to dance. He's like, wait a minute, never mind. If I offer you $10,000, will you guys have sex right here in front of everybody? And they didn't do it, and it was mostly a joke. But that's very much, I think, a meat-headed idea that, never mind, I'm going to stop making fun of you, and instead, let's try to pay you money to have sex.
Would you do it again?
Oh, absolutely. Other than the fact that I have no voice, and I probably killed a couple of years off my life trying to stay up till 6 in the morning. But yeah, it was. I've never been on a cruise before, so I'm sure some of that is, figuring out what you do on a boat and all that stuff. But we stopped for a day at Gronk Island, which was just like a party on an island with all the bros and everybody flip cup tournament, stuff like that. And then we stopped in Nassau. So a lot of people got off in Nassau and went to Atlantis or went, swam with dolphins or did whatever. And then besides those two stops, you're just on the boat, in the casino, in the bars, going to the concert halls. There were comedians on the boat doing some shows. So it was really kind of a wide range. And a lot of the people on the boat were not there for the Gronk boat part.
Oh, man.
But it seemed like everybody got along. Those people that were there for the regular cruise and didn't know that some of the people were going to be Gronkers seemed to be totally fine with this massive meatheads just taking over.
I had mentioned this yesterday, and I immediately got tweets. Athletes talked about this, that why is it that Gronk can get away with this? Imagine if Odell Beckham Jr. did it or Cam Newton did this. How does Gronk get away with this?
To me, he is this rare, very specific combination of probably the best tight end ever, at least in the argument for it, and focused and playing well during the season where you don't really hear about him getting in trouble or having issues showing up to practice on time. He wins Super Bowls. He dominates games. And then when he's not in season, he's kind of living this party dream that everybody wants, but there's no malice there. And there's no kind of lascivious creepiness. And I think if he were the kind of guy, like, for instance, on this boat, if he spent all this time grabbing the hottest chicks he could find to grind with, or, you know, being rude to fans or being in his VIP area, then people are like, all right, this guy's kind of like a tool, or we're judging him for his party antics. But he comes across as sort of like an overgrown 11-year-old boy or like a big puppy. And there's no malice there. He just seems like a guy who wants everybody to have a good time, whether that's a 60-year-old woman dancing with him or his bros. And it's very weird. I'm sure there's other athletes that are like that, but it's pretty hard to be like that and also be one of the best in the game and have people not view what you're doing as anything other than just having a good time. So he's a unicorn.
I'm glad you survived. It looks like it's taking its toll. It sounds like it's taking its toll, but I'm glad you survived. You lived through Gronk 1. Thank you, Sarah.
I did. You guys should do a show from there next year.
Oh, my God.
Live shows all weekend.
I don't know if I have enough life insurance here for the crew. Did anybody end up overboard? That's what I guess I feared that what could go wrong on a Gronk cruise is somebody overboard.
Right. Nobody ended up overboard, thankfully. Just a lot of people sleeping in public areas, and that's a lot of lost iPhones and wallets. Other than that, I think everybody returned to shore with all their limbs.
Thank you, Sarah.
Sure thing.
That's Sarah Spain, ESPN ESPN Radio, surviving the Gronk cruise.